it's a little weird, you know? He's like, isn't he like 32 or something? I think I read his profile somewhere. He's like 32 years old. So it's a little weird. In the Japanese version, I believe Saki's 17. But that's only because, I don't know. In Japan, I think like relationships are not really illegal. Like the age of consent technically is 18, you know, for like, I guess, adult relationships. But technically you can start dating at 16, you know, so it's kind of weird. So that's why a lot of characters in dating sims tend to be around teenage age, even though, you know, in other places 18 is the just like the straight up just age of consent for everything. So it's a little weird. But also like, you know, he's like significantly older, you know, it's like whatever. I guess I have to go down his route because ironically I do like his motivation for being here, you know. He's like trying to find out the truth for Hogstein. So actually I'm interested in him as a character, but like as someone that's probably gonna date Saki, that's a little weird. I don't know. Like if he literally already has a daughter, so literally old enough to be Saki's dad. I mean, not dad, but like, I don't know. Oh, I'll do young dad. Anyway, Shirabe, is something wrong?
いや、昼間の礼を言おうと思ってな。
Thanks for what?
お嬢ちゃん、俺のことを信用したいって言ってくれただろ?
Oh yeah, when we were talking about you and Hogstein.
そうだ。余計な気を使わせちまったし、何よりあそこで話してくれてありがとう。
You know, he also reminds me like a lot of Detective Gumshoe from Phoenix Wright. I think it's his like coat, you know, his green coat. This is basically B Shonen Detective Gumshoe, you know? That's basically what he is. I probably shouldn't have brought it up right then. I was just kind of freaking out about stuff.
まあ、そう暗くなるな。これじゃあ俺が来た意味がなくなっちまう。
What?
礼を言いたかったのもあるが、本当はお前さんがひどく気落ちしているのが気になってな。
Oh.
未来のことなら今から何とでもなるが、過去のことはもう変えられんよ。悔やんでもいいが、悔やみすぎるのは良くない。まあ、これは俺にも言えることだがな。
Shirabe.
過去のことでくよくよするよりも、明日のアトラクションをクリアすること。やっこさんもそれが望みなんじゃないか?
Okay, so I mean, yeah, we time travel again. So this is back when Urabe exploded in the hospital, but he didn't really explode. He just went into hiding, I guess. He must be talking about Urabe. Yeah, I guess you're probably right. I mean, he saved us.
まあ、そういうことだ。ほら、一本やらないか?
Wanna smoke? It's not really a smoke, it's actually just candy.
甘いものを食うと、ストレスもある程度解消されるっていうぜ。
I took the snack he held out. It seems like you're always chewing on one of these. Just how many have you got?
そいつは企業秘密だな。
You know, now I'm thinking, this is like a horrible thought, but like, he's like an older guy giving candy to a younger girl. I mean, come on. I don't know. I can't not think about how old he is compared to Saki. I don't know. The thing is, I was curious how people felt. I mean, this game doesn't really have a big following, but there's some like discussions here and there in like some old forums. And people do say that actually the players who play this game, you know, I imagine female players, actually do like him, you know, even though he's older. They don't have a problem with that at all, actually. But I don't know, I just find it weird. He gave me a grin and a wink, then turned and walked off. I'm glad he came by. I think I actually feel a little better. He was right that we need to work hard in the next game. Urube had given us a second chance. I didn't want to waste that. We'll see. I was never really into the romance again. I don't know. I get you should expect the romance, but not really into the romance stuff. I'm more about the mystery, and also the characters. I do like some of the characters. I do like learning about the characters too. I do like the development. It's just that, like in every kind of dating sim, it's kind of like, oh, once you get to know the character, now you have to date them. Can't we just be friends? Can't I just friend zone these people? Would that be alright? Anyway, alright, time for me to sleep. I was gonna need my rest, so the sooner I get into bed, the better. And then, oh, this is the same. Yeah, just gonna start skipping. Skip this as well. Stage 4, Shirabe. The man with a pocky in his mouth all the time. I was still floating in some kind of dream when I heard his voice. Huh? Who is that? I wanted to wake up, but my eyes refused to open. I was starting to get frustrated when suddenly I noticed a smell. That's nice. Sort of like lemons. I couldn't quite place it, and then it was gone as I drifted deeper into sleep. It's morning. I blinked as I realized the sun was already up. Was that a dream? I assume all of this is technically new, so I can't skip anything. Oh geez, I'm so out of it, I can't tell dreams from reality. I need to pull myself together. And also, what was that? That voice, the question mark voice? I don't know. Maybe we'll learn. Alright, yesterday the bloodstained hospital blew up. Shirabe had protected me from the explosion, okay, again. Depending on which route you're doing, I guess that's the character that kind of protects you. I think he twisted his ankle though. I hope he's okay. Itarashi had gotten injured too, trying to save Wakasa. Okay, interesting. And now Urabe's missing. I shuddered as I thought about what had happened. Oh, I did meet Mai though. That was nice. She'd come to sleep with me, in fact, but... Wait, Mai? She'd been there when I went to sleep, but now she was gone. Maybe she's in the bathroom. When she didn't come out, I started to get a little more worried. I looked everywhere in the room, but she was nowhere to be found. Huh. Maybe she went to Shirabe's room. I should go check up on him. I'm worried about his ankle. I quickly washed my face and I was about to leave when suddenly there was a knock on the door. Coming. I wonder who that is.
You, Ojo-chan.
Ojo-chan. He says Ojo-chan. Ojo is like... I think Ojo is kind of like the connotation is like princess, like royalty. But he says Chan, so that's kind of like, like a cute way of calling someone. Usually like, a younger girl, I guess, Chan. So like that, it's just a funny way to call her, like Ojo-chan. I guess it means little lady. I guess that's pretty much the equivalent in English. Good morning. How are you feeling? Does it hurt?
大したことないさ。それよりも、みたらしの傷の具合の方が気になる。よかったら様子を見に行かないか?
Sure. Where's Mai though? I thought she must have gone back to Shirabe, but here he was, and she was nowhere to be seen.
Mai はまだ寝てるのか?
No, she's dead. She's missing. Huh?
どうした? 驚いた顔して。
Well, I only just woke up and she isn't in my room. I thought she'd gone over to yours, but...
いや、俺のところには来てないよ。
Then where is she?
マイがいなくなったってことか。
Uh-oh, missing kid. We stared at one another for a long moment. I couldn't think of any reason why Mike would have disappeared.
とりあえず、みたらしの部屋に行こう。他の連中もおそらく集まってるはずだ。
Right. Gosh darn it, Mike, where are you? This is new, I guess. Just as we expected, everyone else had gone to check on Mitarashi as well.
なんだ。お前たちまで来ちまったのかよ。
Yeah, how are you feeling?
ああ、大丈夫だ。
Good, good. You seem much better than I thought, so I started to look around the room for Mai. But she wasn't there. Where is she?
おい、ここにマイが来なかったか? あ? いや、来てないぜ。
What about the rest of you? Have you seen Mai anywhere?
いや、見ていないな。
僕も。ね、マイちゃんがどうかしたの?
Well, looks like she's disappeared. When I woke up, she was just gone. I thought she might be with Shirabe, but
ここに全員が集まっている以上、調べ舞は一人だということになる。何事もないといいが。
Shirabe's face twitched.
俺はロビーを探してくる。
I'll come with you. Shirabe was already out of the door when I spoke, but I chased after him. We burst into the lobby to find several piglets working diligently at various menial tasks. Menial? That's menial, right? I don't know why I'm thinking that's wrong. Is it pronounced that way? Menial? Manual? Manial? No. We wanted to ask you guys something.
お前ら、俺の娘を、マイを知らないか？
The piglets waved their hands around. What? I don't understand what you're saying.
こいつらの話の解読はお前さんに任せた。俺は別の場所を探してくる。
He stormed out of the lobby. I can't really blame him, I'd be worried too. Alright, time to figure out what you guys are trying to tell me. We're looking for Mai, the girl who came here with us yesterday. She's gone missing, have you seen her? Are you saying she hasn't been in the lobby? I see, nothing, huh? With a little patience, I realize it wasn't that hard to interpret their seemingly random gestures. Unfortunately, they don't seem to know anything.
おい、どうだ？
Not really. They haven't seen her.
そうか。他の場所も見て回ったが、マイはどこにもいない。
Oh no, where could she be?
ねえ、舞ちゃんいた？
I thought it was going to be a little funny scene where Mai just pops out of nowhere, but actually, maybe this really is the main plot point, you know? Mai's missing, probably Hogstein took her or something. But then, well, we did learn from Wakasa's route that the ship should be safe for the most part. If the piglets don't know nothing, then that means that the Hogstein didn't order them to like kidnap her or anything, so where could she be? Yeah. Oh. They must have been worried too, although Mitarashi's injuries appear to have kept him confined to his room.
いや、この辺りにはいなかった。黒子も知らないそうだ。
俺たちも手伝おう。固まって探すのは非効率的だ。手分けするぞ。
Right, good idea.
すまんな。
With that, we split up and started to look. I guess I might as well search my room again. Maybe I missed something.
俺も一緒に行こう。違う視線で見た方が何か見つかるかもしれない。
Yeah, okay. Good point. Ready?
ああ。
We set off toward my room on a quick jog, and were there in no time. It felt empty. Are you here, Mai?
マイ、いたら返事をしてくれ。
But there was no response, and when we searched the room, we found nothing. Yeah, this is like a parent's like worst nightmare, I imagine. I guess I was right the first time. We even looked in the closet and then underneath the bed. Mai was nowhere to be found.
風呂場も見てきたが、誰もいなかった。
Geez, where did she go?
なあ、お嬢ちゃん。マイがいなくなった時のことで、何か覚えてることはないか？
I thought back. Well, I woke up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom, but she was there when I came back.
そうか。
Then I went back to sleep. Oh well, I did have a weird dream this morning where someone was calling my name and something smelled like lemons, but I don't think that's relevant.
レモンの匂い？
Yeah, well, I think so. I was half asleep. It could have just been a dream. I should have tried harder to wake up. And maybe Mai would still be here. I'm really sorry. I was supposed to be taking care of her and now she's gone. Shirabe shook his head.
別にお前さんのせいじゃないさ。
But
気にするな。それよりも一旦ロビーに戻ろう。他の連中もマイを探してくれてるんだ。もう見つかってるかもしれない。
okay. When we returned to the lobby, Shiro and Wakasa were waiting for us.
そっちはどうだった？
客室フロアを一通り探してみたが見つからなかった。
僕はテラスの方を見てきたけど、舞ちゃんはいなかったよ。
そうか。
Shirabe frowned. Poor guy, he's gotta be worried sick. This place was dangerous enough to us, but to a child? I was worried for her. I can only imagine what kind of torture a parent would be going through.
あとは目押しコータか。
Almost as if on cue, Meoshi appeared. Any luck?
トラップにこんなものが落ちてた。
Candy wrapper? Huh? He handed us a crumpled scrap of plastic wrapping.
なんだそれは。
多分キャンディーか何かの包み紙だと思うけど。
And the only people who have candy around here is you, Shirabe, and your daughter, so... What? I looked at it closer. Oh, it is. I saw Mai eating this yesterday.
本当か？
You never pay attention? I think this whole... I imagine this entire route is about how bad of a dad he is. You know, he seems like a very horrible father. This Mr. Shirabe. Yeah, she gave me one. I totally remember it. He's never pays attention to his daughter. In fact, he's neglected his daughter for like many years at this point.
タラップか。だが、なんでタラップの近くなんかに。舞がそんな場所に用があるとは思えんが。
タラップなんて船を降りる時にしか使わないよね。
ホテルは決まった時間にしか停泊しないはずだが、まさか俺たちの気づかない間に着岸していたとでも言うのか。
バカな。舞は船の外にいるのか？
あ、船が岸に着くよ。
I ran to the window and looked out. Wakaso was right. I'm still reeling. You know, I'm actually thinking about Wakaso's route. I wonder what happens in the other route. But like, Wakaso's bad ending is definitely the most dismissive. Actually, when I think about it, it's kind of the worst. Because he just kind of like, oh, I can't date that normal girl. Okay, bye. You know, it's like everyone else was at least a little bit regretful. You know, Shido was like, I couldn't protect you, and therefore I'm not good enough for you. And Meoshi was like, I'm too shy. I can't, you know, I'm not good enough for you. And then, yeah, and then Wakasa's like, nah, I'm just too famous for you. See ya, you know, like that's just funny to me.
今日のゲームが始まるんだ。
ねえ、どうするの？
どうもこうもない。船から降りなければ俺たちに未来はないんだ。
そうだな。行くしかないか。
What about Mitarashi?
みたらし流星は外を出歩けるような状態じゃない。本人は行くと言って聞かなかったが、今日は休むように言ってある。かなり渋っていたが、なんとか了承させた。
Oh, there would be short two members, Urabe and Mitarashi, and Mai was who knew where. I don't like it, but I guess we have to get off the boat.
よし、行くぞ。
On our way to the plaza, we passed the Bloodstained Hotel, or at least what was left of it. I keep saying hotel. No, not hotel. Bloodstained Hospital. Did I say hotel again before? For some reason, I keep saying Bloodstained Hotel. It's not Bloodstained Hotel. It's Bloodstained Hospital. Instead of a building, now there was just a blackened crater. Ending on the edge. How does it go again? I kind of forgot anyway. Every one of us stopped involuntarily. Standing on the edge of the crater, like the prophets once said, or something like that. I'm just reminded of the song, actually the trailer song of Metal Gear Solid 5. Just a random thought. This is awful. Now that we were looking at it in the daylight, we could see the real extent of the devastation. Was that lyric as well?
昨
Devastation!
日の爆発ってこんなに大きかったんだ。
I forget the lyrics. If Urabe hadn't saved us,
ここにこうして立ってはいられなかっただろうね。
I hadn't realized until that moment just how close we'd come to dying, and suddenly it felt hard to swallow.
ねえ、ここにいると嫌なこと考えちゃいそうだよ。もう行こう。
そうだな。行こ
Okay. But just as we were about to leave, Shirabe stopped us.
ちょっと待ってくれ。話がある。
う。どうした？
悪いが、一旦別行動を取らせてくれないか。舞を探しに行きたいんだ。
Shirabe. He must be really worried about her.
一人で行くつもり？
ああ。お前たちは気にせずゲームに向かってくれ。勝手なことを言って申し訳ないんだが。
We're gonna be down even more members in that case.
でも2人もいないのにこれでまた1人減ったら。
いや、調べさんは娘を探しに行った方がいい。
指導。
もしあなたの娘が昨日のようにどこかのアトラクションに迷い込んでいたりしたら命に関わる可能性もある。
Wakasa's eyes widen.
そっか、そうだよね。あんなちっちゃい子なんだし。
I hadn't even thought of that. Again, the typos get more
別に抜けても構わな
they
い。
get more obvious, more routey do it seems.
すまん。
He turned away to leave, but as he did, I saw him wobble. I watched more closely and realized he was favoring his left leg. His ankle must still be bothering him. Did he really intend to search the entire park like that? Shirabe is not the only one worried about Mai. In fact, even I felt a little responsible since she'd been sleeping in my room when she disappeared. Okay. So the option is, should I go with him or I'll go with you? You know, it's like, should I? Or I'll go. You know, I'll just say go. Shirabe, let me come with you.
お嬢ちゃん。どうしたいきなり。
Well, you're kind of limping. I'm just worried about you. He shook his head.
お前さんの申し出はありがたいが、二人も抜けちまったら、残りはたった3人になっちまう。
But
さすがにその人数でゲームをクリアするのは無理だ。お前さんはみんなと一緒に行ってくれ。そんな顔するな。俺は一人で大丈夫だ。必ず前を探してみせるさ。
okay.
こんな個人的な理由で抜けることになっちまってすまないが、ゲームの方はよろしく頼む。
任せておけ。あなたは娘を探すことに集中してくれ。
ゲームのことは心配いらないよ。
I'm a gamer, so I'll just be a pro gamer and just beat the game all by myself. You know?
すまん。前が見つかったらすぐにまた合流する。
With a last nod, he turned and walked off. After splitting up, we headed to the plaza in front of Castle Hogstein. The game would be starting soon. The game. Even so, I couldn't help but worry about Shirabe and Mai. I wonder if he's okay. It looked like his ankle still really hurt. His voice echoed across the plaza, scattering my thoughts.
今日は俺たちだけでやらせてもらう。ここにいない者たちの一時戦線離脱を認めてもらいたい。
What? That seemed too easy. What? Is he saying he has something to do with Mai going missing? She could really be in danger. Just the thought of it sent shivers down my spine. I want to go help look for her, but I just can't just abandon everyone else. I frowned. What should I do?
おい俺もゲームに参加するぜ
Okay, Mitarashi just goes here anyway.
お前
Mitarashi.
よ
Apparently he was not resting back at the hotel.
どういうこと？
I mean, no reason for him to stay at the hotel, I guess. Because, in the other routes, he's convinced to stay back because he needs to take care of Mai, you know. But now that Mai's missing, I guess it pushed him even, earlier to just go anyway, despite his injuries. He was obviously nowhere near healthy. The whole front of his shirt was soaked with sweat. Are you okay?
そうだよ。汗びっしょりじゃない。
正直言うと立ってるのがやっとなんだがなそうも言ってられねえよ舞がいなくなっちまったんだろ
ああ、ホテルの中には見当たらなかった。今調べさんが一人で探しに出ている。
それならなおさらだただでさえ人数が減っちまってるのに俺だけ寝てるわけにはいかねえだろ
Pain is weakness leaving the body.
とかしてやるさ
It just reminds me of the soldier from TF2. Shido sighed and clapped Mitarashi on the shoulder. I was saying soldier, so on the shoulder, but then noticed when the other man winced.
普段なら怒鳴りつけてホテルに戻すところだが、今のこの状況では助かる。
ああ任せとけ
They nodded to one another, then turned to me.
おい、稲船先。
Ui, Inafune Saki. Yes?
お前は前を探しに行け
What? Really? Are you sure?
ああ、調べさんを助けてやってくれ。
I guess the plot forces us to go help Shirabe, I guess. Right, thank you. I turned and took off. There's no time to waste. Because who needs Saki to play the games, right? She doesn't, no one needs her to play the games. She's better off just searching for Mai, I guess. But where's Shirabe? I need to find him first. Ironically, again, her explosive insights, they seem, very important, but usually when the games are off screen, they actually don't need her. Is the thing. I don't know. I pulled up my cell phone and dialed Shirabe.
お嬢ちゃん俺だどうした
Mitarashi showed up, so they sent me off to help you look for Mai.
みたらしのやつがあいつ無茶しやがって
Where are you? I can come to you.
助かる俺はバザールプラネットだ入り口のところで待ってるよ
Where's
テ
that?
ーマパークの入り口近くにあるショッピングモールだ
Got it. Be there in a few minutes.
頼む
Alright, I gotta hurry. Go. Gotta look for Mai. Just like he said, Bazaar Planet was full of shops, and he was waiting near the entrance. Shirabe,
おお来たか
how's your ankle?
ああ歩くくらいなら何でもない心配はいらんよ
Okay, so why are we starting here?
ここならいろいろ楽しげな店もあるし子供が喜びそうな場所だと思ってな
Yeah, but the lights are off in most of them.
ああだが中にはまだたくさん店がある開いてる店もあるかもしれん
He looked over to one of the shops and rubbed his chin. Oh, Hogstein knew about Mai disappearing.
なんだと
He didn't say anything else, but it made me think he could have had something to do with it.
急いで探そう前の身に危険が迫ってるかもしれない
Right. We started to look for a store that a little girl would like. What about that one over there?
よし行ってみるか
Unfortunately, its lights weren't on, although they were pretty cute. There were plenty of stores, but none of them seemed to be open. Mai!
前いたら
Sean!
返事をしてくれ
Jason! We called out to her as we walked, but didn't get any response. Wait, is this? I bent down to pick up a wrapper from in front of the candy shop.
どうしたっ
This is from the candy that Mai had.
てことは舞はここに来たってことか
Like grabbed a bunch of free candy, from the shop. I say it's a good bet, and look, the lights are on in this one. Inside, I could see a piglet standing behind the counter. I stood back out when we headed inside. Did a little girl come in here? The piglet shook its head. Shirabe had been examining the candy in the store, but now he stomped up to the piglet.
嘘ついてやがったら承知しないぞこの包み紙の飴はここじゃ売ってないこの飴を食ったのは一体誰なんだ
But all the piglet did was shake its head. They're usually so cooperative. Why is this one acting like this? Shirabe.
ああ怪しいな
We left the piglet alone and started looking around the inside of the store. Mai, are you here?
舞どこだ
We looked everywhere, but she was nowhere to be found. Frustrated, Shirabe turned on the piglet again.
お前本当に何も知らないんだろうな
It only shook its head vigorously.
くそこいつらワルドブーに何か口止めでもされてるのか
Maybe. It doesn't look like we're going to get anything out of him, though. With nothing else left to try, we headed out of the store. Why not? I mean, you could try go-to-fashion
この
torture.
店はどこも開いてないようだな次はゲームセンターに
Just a little, like, waterboarding, maybe. Maybe then, the piglet will start, I guess not talk, but like start gesturing towards where Mai would be. I don't know. Anyway. Though I've heard, actually, I don't know if it's true, because this is just like probably something I've heard from somewhere else. So I'm not sure of the source, but I think I've heard that torture isn't really all that effective for, finding the truth. Because a lot of the time, obviously when you're the victim of torture, when you've had enough, you'll just agree with whatever the person torturing you is forcing you to say, sometimes not even the truth. So like torture doesn't really work in terms of actually getting to the bottom of things. But anyway, I guess sometimes that's not the point. I don't think any of the other stores are open. Maybe we can try the arcade. Does she like games?
いやわからん
What?
だが子供ってのはそういうのが好きなもんじゃないのか
Oh, well, I guess so, but we didn't come here because we said Maya likes shopping or something. He just said he figured a kid might like it. Does he really know so little about his own daughter? Save. I guess we're just gonna interrogate him about how he's just a horrible father. I don't know. I mean, either way sounds a bit rude, but sure, I'll just say, you don't know much about her, do you? You don't really know her that well, do you? He gave me a sad nod.
ああ情けないことにな
Oh, well, that's his business, not mine. I shouldn't be so noisy. But then he smiled. Art.
だから同じ女の子のお前さんが手伝ってくれて助かるよ俺には女の子の好みなんていまいちよくわからなくてな
Well, I'm glad I can help. We'll find her in no time.
ああもちろんだ
Huh? As we near the path to the next attraction, though, I noticed a whiff of a familiar smell.
どうした
Is it lemons? I think I recognize this smell. It was faint, but it was definitely lemony. Yeah, I remember it from my dream.
匂い
Yeah, like lemons? I got a whiff of it this morning when I kinda half woke up. I looked down the path we were next to as Shirabe followed my gaze.
よしお嬢ちゃんの鼻を信じてあっちを探してみよう
Yep, let's follow the scent. Literally. We headed off of the bizarre planet toward the path, but As soon as we left the shops, the smell disappeared. Huh? It's gone.
バザールプラネットはアーケードになってたからな。それで匂いが飛ばされずに済んでたんだろう。
Maybe.
だが、こっちのエリアに抜ける道で匂いがしたのは間違いないんだろう。このまま進んでみよう。
Okay. I wonder what that smell was. Whatever it was, it seemed like it was important. Now I wonder, like, well, how do you tell the direction of the smell, though? Like, I don't know. It's like, is it like, how would you be able to tell? I guess a source. I don't know. Like, we're assuming the lemon smell is left behind in the mall. I guess. I guess you could tell. Like, if it's like something that's still dissipating in the air, maybe you could tell the actual source of the smell and go towards it. Because I'm just wondering, like, you know, if it was like something that is a smell that went through the mall, you know, how can you tell whether or not it's the source, or is it the smell that was left behind? Which way do you go? You know, if that makes sense? Maybe I'm just talking nonsense, whatever. Let's just go towards this lemony smell. Or at least the smell that we thought was lemony that might be here, but we don't know. Yes? I was a little surprised when Shirabe pulled me out of my thoughts.
どうも何か喋ってないと落ち着かん。よかったら俺の話聞いてくれるか？
I just need to give you my backstory. I have to. Yeah, I really don't know anything about him, do I? I had to admit I was pretty curious. Sure, go ahead.
すまんな。まあ他でもない舞のことなんだが。
Shirabe thought for a minute and then started to talk.
舞を産んですぐにもともと体の弱かった神さんが死んじまってな。俺は赤ん坊の舞と二人で残されちまったんだ。
Classic anime. Mother, you know, always dying when they give birth. Almost always in anime. At least whenever there's like some kind of like traumatic experience with like the parents or whatever. Usually the dad, you know.
そんな顔しないでくれ。もう昔の。
And then like, you know, and then the daughter or son is like what's the word? I forget what the word is, but you know, the father feels resentment towards the son or daughter, even though they didn't really do anything that killed their wife or whatever, and, you know, stuff like that happens. Okay.
だから前には母親の思い出ってのがない。あいつが寂しい思いをしないように育てたいと思ったんだが、男で一つで子供を育てるってのは想像以上に大変でな。一睡もできずに取材に出るようなこともザラだった。それに俺の職業はフリーライターだ。きな臭い事件に関わってると自分の身が狙われることもある。
Oh geez, really? Did that happen?
ああ、その挙句、舞が危険な目に遭いそうになってな。あいつがまだほんの小さい頃に、かみさんの実家に預けたんだ。
So that's why she wasn't living with him.
それ以来、あんまり顔を合わせる機会もなくて、たまに会っても、どんな話をしたらいいのか、いまいちわからなくなっちまった。会いに行くたびにでかくなってて、いつの間にか自分の考えってのも芽生えてる。どうしても壁みたいなものを感じちまって、気づいたら舞がどんなものを好きなのかもわからなくなっちまってた。
Oh, she likes candy. You know, that's one thing that she likes.
女の子ってのは難しいもんだな。
Shirabe, he looks so sad. I feel like I should say something. You suck. Get a different job. You know, that doesn't require as much time. How about that, huh? No. Okay, maybe not. That's incredibly insensitive. I mean, this is like the, you know, this is the very traditional response. Your family, you'll figure it out. You know? Like, or you should pay more attention to her. That just sounds more like nagging. I don't know. Ah, whatever. Your family, you'll figure it out. Don't beat yourself up so much. You're a family. I'm sure you'll figure it out.
そういうもんか。
It's a very Japanese way of thinking, by the way. You know, because of how like family ties, family bonds can really like transcend a lot of like strife, I guess, is the idea. A very traditional Japanese way of thinking. I nodded. Yeah, I do. Family means you're always got something in common. Besides, look at how worried you are about her. You really care about Mai, and she'll be able to see that. You might feel awkward now, but that'll go away.
なんだかお前さんにそう言われると、本当にそうなりそうな気がしてくるな。
He gave me a shy sort of grin.
やれやれ。子供のお前さんに励まされちまうとはな。
A kid. Yes, we are a kid. From his point of view, I probably was just a kid, but I mean, according to a lot of ages of consent in a lot of countries. But what does it bother me when he says that? Or why
ど
does
う
it
した
bother?
お嬢ちゃん。
Oh, no, nothing. Just hoping we find Mai soon.
ああ。
Right. Mai is our first priority. Time to get back on track. Following the path the smell had put us on took Shirabe and me to an attraction we hadn't seen before. It looked like half the building had collapsed, and in front was a huge stone with a sword in it. This is Round Table Coliseum Nights 4. Is it 4? I can never read my Roman numerals. I think that's 4. That's what it was said on the sign, at least.
コロシアムとはまた物騒な名前だな。
We haven't been to this one yet. Do you think Mai's in there? He looked up at the attraction and tapped his forehead with one finger.
円卓って言葉、それにあの岩に刺さったつに、おそらくここはアーサー王絡みのアトラクションだな。
You know, I wonder, because he always taps his forehead every time he thinks about things. That just kind of reminds me of Edgeworth, actually. Isn't Edgeworth does the same thing in Phoenix Wright? Always like acts a little smug and then taps his forehead or something. King Arthur.
そうだ。伝説上の人物と言われているイングランド王の名前でな。円卓の騎士を従え、勇敢に戦ったとされてる。
But then it turns out that King Arthur was actually a teenage girl with blonde hair, you see. You know? And then she falls in love with some random Japanese dude in Uyuki.
アーサーは
That's how it works,
王
right?
にしか抜けないとされる伝説の剣、エクスカリバーを
Depending on the route, I guess.
引き抜いたとされてるんだ。
I see. And she also has many versions of her. You know, one that wears big armor, rides a horse, and has a big spear. The other one's a dark version of her. She also sometimes wears a bunny suit. Sometimes she wears a swimsuit. There's many variations of King Arthur. Anyway.
エクスカリバーには岩から引き抜いたという説と湖で乙女に授かったという説があるんだが、いずれにせよアーサー王は生涯その剣をただ見放さず己の身に帯びてたって話だ。
Gosh, he wasn't kidding when he said he talks when he's stressed. Well, that's kind of rude. He's like, oh, he talks too much. Still, there was no denying that his knowledge was impressive. Now, how do you know so much about everything? Well, you see, I play this game called Fate Grand Order.
まあ、職業柄ってやつだな。
You need to know all that to write articles?
取材で得た事実だけじゃ薄っぺらい記事になっちまうこともあるからな。考察を加えるための知識ってのはもちろん大事だ。
Oh, huh.
それに何かあった時に少しでも知識が多い方が真実に近づけるかもしれないから。
Shirabe trailed off, and I looked up to see him staring off into the distance. Is he remembering something? Probably the bus accident, right? I mean, that's probably the biggest reason why he's doing his journalist job, actually. You know, not only to pay the bills, but also to find the truth of why or what happened to his, I believe his senpai, right? His, like, you know, his former mentor, you know? That's probably what he's looking for. The reason why his former mentor died in that bus accident. That's what motivates him to still be doing this job despite, you know, neglecting his daughter. So, Before I could think about it too much, though, I noticed something much more immediate. Oh,
どうした
the smell, it's back.
なんだとレモンの匂いか
The lemons. You take the lemon. When life gives you lemons, you take the lemons back. Or what was the quote? I forgot the quote. I used to know the quote. Something about lemons and making it turn into a lemon explosion device. You shoot the lemons at, I don't know. Yeah, I think Mai might be here.
そうかもしれないな
You don't make lemonade, you make a lemon grenade launcher. What's wrong?
アトラクションの扉が開いてる
You're right. Almost as if it was trying to lure us in.
よし行くぞ
On the other side of the door, we found ourselves in a room that looked like some kind of arena. The seats were empty, but there was a large screen in the middle of a circular cage. This...
こりゃまさしくコロシアムだな
It's Hogstein. His voice filled the chamber as he spoke.
貴様前はどうした
Oh, there she is. She's just right next to Hogstein. Why?
ワルドブ前は無事なんだろうな
Shirabe was practically shaking with impotent anger. Literally shaking. He explained that Mai had been an unexpected guest, but he had no other intentions of being anything other than a gentleman. That sounds suspicious, the way he says that. Shirabe ground his teeth.
なぜ前をさらったりした なんだと
What is he talking about? What did he do? I didn't remember hearing him say anything about interviewing grieving families. Okay.
俺が憎いなら俺自身を標的にすればいいだろう前は関係ない解放してやってくれ
Okay, time to get angry. Getting angry. Wait. I have so many saves. All the save slots have turned white. I don't know. What? Why is this a thing? I'll just save here, I guess. What a jerk. There's no way he's actually gonna give Mai back. And what's his deal with saying that he's gonna use her to manipulate Shirabe? That's awful. But the worst is acting like her being here is some kind of blessing. It's anything but that. Get mad. His apologies seemed almost instinctive. You know, everyone does that. You know, anytime Saki gets angry at anyone, they just, you know, that's the joke. They just apologize immediately. Don't be such a selfish jerk. Give Mai back to her father. Shirabe spat.
7日間かけて前のことを洗脳するつもりなんだろうあの黒子たちのように とぼけるな。お前の手口は分かってるんだ。宗教絡みの取材もやったことがあるんでね。黒子のような連中ってのはこれまでに何度も見てきた。
Cults, eh? So he's done like reporting on cults as well. That's it.
洗脳されてるやつってのは見ればわかるもんさ。奴らはお前に洗脳され、お前の言うことを疑うこともなく従っている。それが悪に加担しているとは夢にも思わずにな。お前は奴らに例えば喋るななどいくつかのルールを守らせることで意のままに操っている。違うか？
I mean, that is okay. So we're learning a bit more how like why the piglets are so weird. Maybe it's some kind of pig cult. I don't know. There was a long moment of silence before Hogstein spoke.
Fuzakeru na! Waldob, 娘は返してもらうぞ。お前と舞はこのアトラクションの奥にいる。そうだな。
He started to walk toward the door in the back of the room. Shirabe looked at me and I nodded. If this is what we have to do to get my back, then I'm going too. Well, I'm in the wrong way. I don't think Hogstein's here. I think Hogstein's back at his castle. But
じゃあゲーム開始ってわけだな。いいだろう。だがな、ワルドブ、お前のところにたどり着いたらその時には前を返してもらおう。
okay, Hogstein is just playing along. Sure, why not? And with that, he hung up. Oh geez, we have to beat the whole thing with just two of us? I swallowed. It was daunting.
すまんな、お嬢ちゃん。俺のゴタゴタにお前さんを巻き込んじまって。
I never had a dog, Shirabe. What are you talking about? No, it's okay. Now come on, we can't let him beat us. Let's do this. I gave him a big smile.
お嬢ちゃん。
She's not my daughter or anything, but I'm worried about Mai too. If I wasn't prepared to get my hands dirty, I wouldn't be here right now, so chin up. Let's go get her back, together.
そうだな。ありがとう。
He smiled and I thought maybe some of the tension had eased out of his shoulders. Good. The door in the back opened with a slow creak. Two piglets appeared from behind it.
出てきやがったな。
Are we gonna have to fight them? Neither piglet said anything, of course, but one climbed up on the stage and tossed over what he'd been carrying.
おっと、なんだこりゃ。
Okay.
グローブと。
I mean, we saw this game before in the other route. I guess it was Shido's route, you know, that showcased this the most. Well, they gave us two pairs.
これをつけろってことか。
The piglet nodded.
お前さん、一人でつけられるか。
Yeah, of course. This,
この紐はしっかり締めておかないと。後でほどけちまうからな。よし、これでいい。
thanks. I guess. With the gloves and shin guards on, we looked like boxers. Do boxers wear shin guards? They don't wear shin guards, you know? 'Cause, you know, boxing doesn't require, like, anything to do with kicking. More like kickboxers, maybe. Both piglets had already put on their gear. The one on the stage beckoned for us to come up and join him.
コロシアムらしく、拳で決着をつけようってことか。
He sighed and climbed up onto the stage. Are you gonna be okay?
ああ、安心して見ててくれ。お前さんに危害は加えさせんよ。
Thanks and good luck.
おう、
There was no announcement or buzzer, it just started. It looked like Hogstein really was rushing things. Shirabe and the piglet settled into the fighting stances and faced one another.
よしいつでも来い
He held up his fists in front of his face, ready to attack or defend, and moved nimbly around the stage as he was waiting for the piglet to attack. Does he have experience boxing? Is he a boxer? Jab, jab, cross. 1, 2. They kept their distance from one another and circled around the stage for several moments before the piglet charged forward with a jab. Shirabe dodged lightly out of the way and countered with a punch of his own. Counter! Cross counter! The piglet was too quick to get hit with the full force of the blow, but Shirabe's attack grazed its arm. The piglet arched his back and collapsed on the floor.
なんだ今のは
That sounded like electricity. Are you okay?
ああ俺はなんともないだが軽く触れただけでこいつは倒れちまった
He looked down at the gloves. There must... Oh,
何か仕掛けがあるらしい
I don't know why. I don't know, for a few times now I accidentally trying to read a dialogue that was already voiced. Like what?
などうやら相手の攻撃は受けずに避けた方が良さそうだ
The piglet shook its head slowly and clambered back to its feet. It looked a little shaky, but clearly wasn't ready to give up just yet. Shirabe carefully kept his distance and watched for an opening. Oh, okay, we get like an actual CG
ほらもう一発くらえ
of a box. Hajime no Ippo, amazing. I do love Hajime no Ippo, by the way, one of my favorite animes ever. But I guess the gloves, for some reason I thought in my head the gloves were like more like you know, more like VR gloves or whatever, you know. We saw before in Shido's route, we didn't see like actual gloves. We saw a little like equipment that you know, was less colorful than this. But I guess in this one, you're just actually just wearing full gloves. Which is funny. I guess the idea is that, you know, rather than hitting weak spots, this time it's just full-on boxing. His fist slammed into the piglet's face. KO! Its head snapped back and it fell backwards onto the stage. Yes!
どうしたもう終わりか
The piglet didn't respond. Is it dead?
いや息はまあこれ以上戦うのは無理だろう
You know, again, I'm starting to like the character. It's just weird that there's a romantic aspect to it, but I do like the fact that he knows how to box. I do appreciate the art of boxing. Ironically, even though I don't really like the sport of boxing in real life, it's weird. I have like a weird relationship with boxing. I like the idea of boxing, you know, and all the, I guess, the form of it and the techniques, you know, that are in it, but the actual sport, I really don't really care all that much, to be honest. Even though I do like the anime, Hajime no Ippo, which is like obviously a story about boxing, but... And then you won! Yay!
ちょろいもんだ
That was amazing. I didn't know you knew how to box!
俺の仕事は危ない橋を渡ることもあるからな体を鍛えるためにボクシングジムに通ってたことがあるんだ
Just a few hours. You know, all you need is just a few hours, again.
ま素人に毛が生えた程度のもんだがな
Now there's the jab, there's the cross, there's the hook, there's the uppercut. You know, just learn how to do all those punches, and that's basically basic boxing, I guess. And also, I guess, learn how to, like, move your head. Number one rule in boxing, always move your head. You know? It's harder to hit a moving target, I guess. As we were talking, the second piglet had climbed up on the stage.
次はお前かいいぞ来いよ
Instead of keeping his distance like the other piglet had done, this one rushed straight toward Shirabe. He dodged his attacks, then kicked out at him. Ah! Kicking? That's cheating. Oh no. Shirabe was totally unprepared for a kick, and it caught him on the leg. With a cry, he crumpled to the floor. Yep, that's probably the weakness of boxing, if someone starts to kick.
そういえばすね当てもつけてたんだったなすっかりボクシングのつもりで足は油断してたぜ
Are you okay?
これくらいでやられるわけにはいかないさ。
He climbed a little shakily to his feet.
しかし攻撃を受けたら電流が流れる仕組みだ。何発か受けたらおしまいだな、こりゃ。
What? He turned to face the piglet again and dropped into a fighting stance. But his footwork wasn't quite as impressive as before. He seemed to be favoring his left leg. But that's where he got hurt yesterday. Did he twist it again where he fell down? The piglet noticed it too and began to relentlessly attack Shirabe's bad leg. Oh no. You'd be surprised how important, you know, your legs are in boxing. Even though you don't use it to kick, it's actually very important for footwork. The fight quickly became a defensive one for Shirabe as he tried desperately to avoid the piglet's attack. And also, like, when you punch, you actually have to, you know, use your entire body, and that includes your legs. But I guess, you know, in this fight, you don't have to actually put your full force behind your punches anyway. Every punch Shirabe threw, the piglet easily dodged. Another kick connected and he fell to the floor. Down. Shirabe! The piglet had kicked him in his bad leg, and from the look in his face, I could see he was in a lot of pain. Like, not only from the electricity, but also being kicked. No, stop, he's gonna kill you! Shirabe climbed to his feet again, but now he looked like he was struggling to stay upright. I know he wants to save mine, but he's gonna get himself killed. He was too slow now to even try to avoid the piglet's attack, and another kick slammed into his leg. Oh, I can't believe the old man died from a heart attack. This time he didn't get up. Game over. The piglet didn't stand down though. Are they really gonna make him fight to the death? Please, you have to stop. The piglet turned and gestured for me to get up on the stage. So, if I fight and beat him, it's like a tag team, you know, tag us in. The Shirabe actually had training as a boxer and he'd be beaten. How could I possibly do anything? And didn't you learn how to do did you learn some kind of martial art? Come on. That doesn't matter, have to try. If you lose here, we'll never get my back. I stoop up straight, climb onto the stage. And this is when we learned that Saki was actually a master taekwondo. Or a taekwondo master, other way around anyway. Bring it on! Or maybe not. Like this? Ah, jeez. I did my best to imitate Shirabe's stance and try to calculate the distance between myself and Piglet, but I didn't really feel like a winner. I've never been in a fight before, in any kind of fight. Never been rough, you know, you never been tumbling in the streets? Is that what you call it? Roughing it up? But we lose here, then it's all over. I have to protect Shirabe and get my back. You can do this, Saki! Piglet seemed to be waiting for an opportunity to attack. I wasn't sure why. I could have been more full of openings if I'd been Swiss cheese. What should I do? Well, punching will probably do nothing. We suck at punching, probably. We don't know how to punch. So maybe circle around? Well, if I get around behind him. I tried to walk like Shirabe had and moved around the stage toward the piglet's back. Unfortunately, he turned as I moved and I realized I really should have thought things out a little better. There has to be an opening for me somewhere. I feel like either way though, if we try to punch, it doesn't matter. If the piglet attacked me, it would be all over it. I had to be careful, very careful. Ah! Dang it. I've been so focused on the piglet I had been watching where I was going. I tripped over, of all things, Shirabe's unconscious body. Piglet decided that that was his opening. Electricity coursed through my body. The pain was so intense that I could feel myself beginning to black out. Ugh. I could barely move, my whole body stung. Around the edge of my vision, the world was starting to darken. The piglet didn't seem to be in the mood for mercy though. I could see it walking toward me. No, I can't pass out now. If that happens, it's game over. Then I have to do something. I tried to move my arms, but they refused. Is this it? Is this the end? Ah! Then I heard the sound of arcing electricity. Huh? Are? The piglet that had been standing over me collapsed. What the?
間に合ったな。
Is that cheating? That's two versus one. Shirabe! His hands were wrapped around the piglet's ankles. That was you?
卑怯で申し訳ないがな。お前さんをやらせるわけにはいかない。
The piglet wasn't moving.
どうやらここはクリアか。
I guess.
お嬢ちゃん。
Good. And then I passed out dead. You know, Saki, maybe you should learn martial art after you get out of this death game. Probably very helpful, you know, for self-defense. Any other time you'll be stuck in another death game where you gotta like, you know, box like a weird piglet man in a weird costume. You know, it's probably a good idea. Anyway,